All right, I'll say good morning from America, and it's middle of the night, or getting near nighttime for Scott. We're
Yeah, 11:18 p.m. or 23:1800
yeah.
hours
I think I'm
in real people talk.
there. You go. I think I'm like '07.
I'm about 45 minutes past my bedtime.
All right. Well, we
I
just
don't
want.
need I don't need my beauty sleep, but I like to have it.
You're already perfect, man. Don't worry about it. So we're
Yeah,
uh, we're done with the battles of Blankensfelde and Grossbeeren. I think they went fantastically well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We racked up some great combined views. We've got the casualties done. I think I just need to update the spreadsheet with Prussian losses from Blankenfeld from you, Scott. That's it. And then I think I've
yeah,
got everything else done.
yeah.
We figured out what percentage of the Prussians would have escaped, and they're under General Kraft just north of Grossbeeren on the strategic map. And then we put a poll out to see what you guys as Coalition Command wanted to do. Of course, I sent those screenshots. It does look ugly from the screenshots, and probably is quite ugly. Where you've got Ney, Oudinot, and Bertrand right behind him, and Kraft is either marching towards the rear of four French corps, the 70,000 guys sitting southwest of Berlin. So he can't see them yet, but it could be an ugly decision for him. But we'll see what you guys come up with because that's kind of fun. So for myself, I'll just chip on the Battle of Grossbeeren. It was a good battle. It was great for GDA. I think it would have been a little bit of hopelessness. I think in General Laptiev's mind, because one, he probably suddenly realized, he's like, hey, where's our cavalry wing? And it wasn't there. And then two, with the more cavalry arriving, and then Marshal Ney sending over the heavy cavalry regiment. He just got really outmaneuvered. Did attempt a breakout on his right, which ended up leading to disaster and a flank charge from the heavy cavalry wing. That basically he lost his left, he lost his right. He was still in the center, but what's the point if you're going to be on an island and you've got cavalry going on both sides of you and infantry pouring in behind you? So escape wasn't really an option as far as I could tell on the map. So he basically said, hey, it's like sometimes when you're playing chess, you can see you're going to lose 4 moves ahead. He was able to minimize casualties. It was pretty. I was kind of a little bit shocked that it was low casualties, but it made sense in my mind afterwards because he would have. I have an opportunity here to save 6 or 7 thousand of my men. And Scott and I talked about it. They're probably the first thing that Ney's going to do is go, or you're just going to go, hey, we've got a bunch of you guys here. We can either put you on a prison ship, and you can just die at some point.
You can sit in a prison hulk in the Bay of Biscay or something like that and just die. You can fight on and just die. Or you can throw down your arms, and then it's like from the French perspective, it's like, well, they're your options. Or you can put on a nice French blue uniform and put on a shako and check out Spain.
Yeah,
The weather's fantastic.
in the winter too.
The locals are a bit bit antsy, but hey, uh, doing garrison duty in Spain is probably better than sitting on a prison hulk in Toulon or somewhere like that, I guess.
Yeah, I thought that was an excellent idea.
It happened more often than people realize, I think, during the Napoleonic Wars, where you had soldiers who would desert one army, cross the lines just to enlist in another. A lot of that stuff went on.
So I think that was it's August in Germany heading into the winter time, and you got a chance to go on a Mediterranean vacation in the peninsula. You're not going to Ibiza or anything like that, but yeah, go for it.
There's no discos, no parties. That's not happening.
Yeah, so I think they had 21,608 infantry captured and 78 guns. So I think a large percentage of those guys are going to find their way into the peninsula. Maybe they'll end up with Suchet's command, or maybe they'll end up on the frontier to free up more French troops to go out to the peninsula.
Yeah, well, given the date, they're probably going to be they'll be probably arriving down near the Pyrenees just as the French army comes retreating across.
True, yeah.
After having their asses kicked at Vittoria, so
yeah.
Yeah, not that they'd be aware of that just at this point, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
So
yeah, but it was
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say there were two good games from my perspective. I mean, it was bloody huge. Probably one of the largest Napoleonic games I've played on my table. Because I normally just play divisional size battles. But yeah, this thing was huge.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And this was really just a prep game for Scott and I. One, Scott, with some time constraints, had to use the command and colors last game, so I think he was kind of itching to get the GDA rules out there and freshen up. And then we'll come back to Blankensfelde, of course, but thinking of this Battle of Berlin happening in 4 different countries and 2 different hemispheres at the same time, it's pretty immense. And we've got Roundy from Dicey Tactics in New Zealand, and of course Scott and I where we are, and then Dom from Boots on the Table in England, all playing on one virtually. I don't know how many miles wide is the Berlin battlefield.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, brother.
I'm not too sure, actually, but I mean, at the end of the day, you've got 70,000, 80,000 troops fighting 50,000 troops.
Yeah. It doesn't even include the cavalry, I don't think.
Yeah. What I've done is I've grabbed an 1877 year map. Someone, I can't remember who, and I really wish I could remember who it was. I could dive onto my channel.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Someone sent a link to these maps that you can get. Now, for the one of Prussia, it's 1877, so it's almost, it's over 50 years afterwards, and there's railway lines on them, obviously, so you got to disregard that, and obviously the towns would have expanded in size, and there'll be some towns that maybe weren't there at all, but at the end of the day, close enough is good enough as far as I'm concerned. And so what I did is I managed to zoom in on these maps, and I looked at it and I went, okay, as we've discussed prior, I don't know if we've done it online or anything, but the concepts of sieges during the Napoleonic Wars, like they don't happen all that often, and there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, but they just don't happen. So obviously what would have happened is the Swedes, the Prussians, the Russians, they get wind that there's this French army coming up the road from Potsdam, heading eastward towards Berlin. All the troops are all garrisoned out and billeted around Berlin. They all get brought in. Think of that scene from the Waterloo movie where they're at Brussels and all the troops are out you see them in the rain, all getting ready to go out to march to Waterloo. So shades of that. So all these Prussians, Russians, and Swedes are gathering up in the vicinity of Berlin, and then they march out of Berlin. And it's like, okay, so where would they meet these French troops? Well, first, every army's conscious of its flanks. So what I did is I had a look at the map. I looked where the River Spey was and some other waterways, and then the ground. And basically there's a place called Zellendorf, and then Titau, or Titau, I don't know how you pronounce it, German, and Rulsdorf and stuff like that. So there's a line of towns, and I looked at it and I thought, well, if I was the Prussians, Russians, and Swedes, and I've just come barreling out of Berlin, and I know there's a French army coming up the road. This would be a good place because there's heavy woods on my left flank. There's a river on my right. I can put my troops in between there. So that's my flanks covered predominantly. So that's the first concern. And the terrain is fairly flat. No matter, like, that whole area west of Berlin, apparently prehistorically it was a glacial plain. So it's not that hilly. It's quite flat, undulating terrain. I had a look at all the various spot heights, and I think the highest one I could find was about 43, and the next hills, the other hills around about the 30, 35 mark. So it's all fairly just gradual undulating terrain. If there's anyone who lives in Germany that lives anywhere to the west of Berlin or been to the west of Berlin, let us know what the terrain's like. If it's like the Alps of something's happened, some mountains or something just sprung up out of nowhere. But generally speaking, it looks pretty undulating kind of terrain. It's very wooded, so I've picked an area where there's, if you're an army and you want to have a scrap, it's like, okay, this is fairly open terrain, and it looks like a good place to have a battle. And so that area along there, it's certainly wide enough to accommodate the amount of troops that we've got. And then so I've made up a very, like, just a war game map, for one of it. It's just basically what you would put on a table to simulate it. And so I've made that map, but it covers the front from, like I said, I think it's a place called Zellendorf in the north to Rulsdorf in the south. And then what we'll do is we divide that corridor, that straight line, that defensive position. We just divide it into the four tables. One table for Dom from Dom's channel's boots on the table, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, so we divide one table for boots on the table, one table for check your leader, one table for basement 1908, and one table for dicey tactics. And then it's just, okay, guys, here's your orders of battle. Have that. Let us know how it goes. And if one flank is victorious and another one's not, and it's shared honours in the centre, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, this corps or division was defeated. What was the average result across the entire front, and then
we'll get together. We'll get together after this next massive war game, and kind of will be a lot to break down.
Who would retreat and who would retreat and who would stand their ground.
Yeah,
or advance.
And so it's interesting because Scott and I've talked hours about it, because the local commander is not a Prussian. It's a Swede who used to work for Napoleon, so got to think there's some mixed emotions. I think this. So you've got Bülow, you've got the
Allied commanders are. You've got Bernadotte, King. What name do you call it?
Carl Johan or Carl John or something? I don't know.
Yeah, Carl Johan of Sweden, who's Bernadotte. So he's in overall command because, hey, he's a king. So he outranks everyone. And a former French marshal. Not a particularly good one, but there he is.
I don't know.
Then you've got
Winston.
Then you've got Bülow.
Yep, and then Winston Grode or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Vincent Grode.
Is that a Russian or is that a Prussian?
He's a Russian.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's your... And then the actual Swedish general, was it Stettner or something like that?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, anyway, so you got four 4 generals basically that you can have commanding on the 4 tables, and then for the French you've got Napoleon, you've got Mortier, you've got Poniatowski, Wheelbarrow with an L,
Lauriston, whatever, something.
yeah. So
And Mouton.
you got yeah, Mouton, Mortier. So Napoleon would be an overall command, but I'll take the role of Mortier. You've got Mouton, and then Poniatowski. That'll be Dom.
Yep.
And
then Wheelbarrow.
You've got,
Wheelbarrow will be over with Wayne.
Yeah, Wheelbarrow with an L. He'll be down on Dom's table. On Rolly's table.
Yeah.
And Josh.
Yeah. Wayne and Josh. Yep.
Yeah, Josh will command either, I guess, Prussians or Russians down there, because there'll be Swedes on the right flank, and then Prussians and Russians in the centre and on the left.
Excellent.
So it'll make for a good. It's going to make for a great battle.
It was that.
A great series of battles.
It was that Dyson Bayonets that gave us that map. I went and looked real quick. He's been very active in the campaign. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. I wasn't too sure it was.
Cheers to you.
I've just got a terrible. I've got a terrible memory for names. I used to have a good memory for, but my head's been rattled a few times. I never forget a face, but names, just forget it. So it's not ignorance; it's just
explosions.
Yeah. My God, they're blowing me up again.
If Gunnar Unto would have taken
shooting, stop with the shooting and the screaming.
If Gunnar Unto would have taken your helmet, you'd have been all right.
Yeah. I can't think with you people screaming.
So, what was your table? What was your overall impression of how it went? It seemed to be, it was pretty brutal. Yours was
the plan was, because it's difficult when you solo play. It's like you got 2 options solo play, and you can be completely hands free, and you decide on a tactical solution for one side and a tactical solution for the other, and then it's like hell or high water. That's what they're going to do. I don't care what happens, and I'm just going to push them that way and see what happens. And then as the battle unfolds, you decide how you're going to do it. So for the Prussians and that tiny little handful of Russians that were on my table was like, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to dig in like ticks in this terrain, and we're just going to fight like demons and inflict as much hurt on the French as we possibly can. And we went with you did the polls, like what will you ran your polls on your channel, and for the Prussians on my table it was like fortify the villages. And when I saw that I went, oh no, why? Why would you do that? If I've got an option between fortifying a village or building a redoubt, I build a redoubt every time. The reason why, well, not every time, but most of the times I'll build a redoubt. And the reason for that is there's an old military adage: if you make it really, really difficult for the enemy to get in, you're not going to get out. And GDA does this, simulates this well, because when you fortify a village, yeah, true, you get the combat advantage of being in fortifications for both rounds of combat if it goes that far. But the problem is you can't reinforce. So what happens is you win the initial couple of combats normally, then you end up getting driven out, and then they get in, and then you still have to go through the process of getting back in yourself, and it still becomes attritional. And like I did in my battles, I just went, as the attacker, wherever possible, I'm just going to avoid the villages, because they just become grinding matches.
Yeah.
They're just too attritional. And so if you can destroy the enemy in the open, you do it. And so, and what happened is the French got lucky early on. They took out a lot. The artillery duels between the two sides, the French gunners were just, initially they didn't shoot well at all, but then suddenly that their shooting was really good, and the French dominated the artillery battle. And what the plan was to push on the left and support the attack on the left with an attack in the center, but it was push hard on the left, push a little in the center, and then don't do anything on the French right. And hopefully that will draw the Prussians on the French right out. And so what happened is, sure enough, they got drawn. They came forward, because I think it was on turn 4. They sort of like went, well, we can either sit here, but there's not much going on, or we can step forward and try to envelop the attacking French, because that would be the logical thing to do. But the thing is, the French had so many more reserves. So it was like, okay, you're coming forward, great. I bring my reserves on, that cancels them out, and I still have an entire infantry division and a heavy cavalry brigade yet to come on. And so by the time the 20, I think it was the 21st Division, which is the Italian infantry and the heavy cavalry brigade, when they came on, it was just like, they're just coming on to mop up. So as a Napoleonic battle, as an example of a good Napoleonic battle, it was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about GDA. It really rewards maintaining reserves, unlike any other set of rules I've ever played. And that's why I always keep troops off the table, because you can't simulate the impact of reserve if everything's already on the table. Now, in your game, when that heavy cavalry came on, they went through them like a knife through hot butter.
They were the definite MVP, because they came on pretty much well timed with the Prussians on the right stepping off and trying to envelop the French left, and then with everybody holding back, they just had an exposed beeline right down to attack them from the flanks, and just it was pretty brutal. Then they did what cavalry do. They just kind of forced infantry into square, and then it was they didn't even have to really have to charge them. Just kind of got them to square, and then the Italians lined up, and the cannons
shut them down.
Yeah. They were bringing cannons forward, so it was about to get horrific. So that's when Laptiev said, "Nah, we've had it.
Nah, we're done." Yeah. It's almost like the cavalry come on, like, if all you people would just bunch up in the center, it's like taking a photo. If you ever just bunch it, you guys on the left, bunch up, that's it. Yeah, square. Yes, that'd be nice. Yes, form a square, that'd be good. Okay, now just look into the big round circle here, the muzzle, that's it. Muzzle, whatever. Look here, smile.
Boom. Grape shot.
Boom. And this is where the Prussians. So what it was the Prussian Corps of Observation and Prussian Third Corps, was it?
Yeah, I think it was. Tauzian,
Yeah. Whoever they were, Tautzins and bloody
Laptiev.
The minute they went, wow, no cavalry, we can't even retreat. You know, it's like there's no one to cover them. And it's like two brigades of heavy cavalry, a brigade of light cavalry. It's like, yeah, the infantry can go toe to toe all day, but once you break and that cavalry comes pouring through, and that's why I with my little map that I did during my video, I tried to show that. Okay, now here comes 2:30. All the guns fall silent over Grossbeeren. Here comes this brigade of French light cavalry. Meanwhile, here at Blankensfelde, the Prussians are still fighting on. With French all up in their grill, and then the Saxon and French heavy cavalry come on, and they just blow straight through. So you have this situation where the French light cavalry are coming in from the rear, and then the Saxon and French heavies are breaking through, and they just basically go peel left and right. There's nowhere for the Prussians and the Russians to flee to. It's like they're all in the bag. That's it.
Yeah,
they're done.
And I don't, I know a little bit about Bernadotte, and it seemed to be really a self-preservation guy, and a little bit I've read about him. And you've got the coalition probably experienced real stuff like this with, multiple foreign kings commanding troops from different nations. Of course, it's going to be a little bit of me. I'm going to take care of my people. I don't think it's beyond the realm of the possibilities where, one, you could have a clerical error where somebody thought they sent cavalry down south but never did, and then two, I want to I want to husband as much cavalry where I am
with my forces. Yeah,
because I don't want to end up like those guys I sent down there that I just sent down there to buy time and give me a heads up that things are going horribly wrong.
What it does is it really brings home the importance of, everyone in the military, everyone bags the loggies and everyone bags the clerks and stuff like that. It's like, oh, freaking pogues. And I'm guilty of myself being an artilleryman. I used but it really is a team sport being in the military, and someone going not interrogating the orders of battle. So, like when the campaign started, as you know, the first thing I did is when I got the orders of battle, I just went, well, that won't do. Take this cavalry brigade. I'm going to transfer it to this division. Break these take these corps and make them small. I'll produce more. I'll produce more corps, but I'll make them smaller in number. But I'll keep them in close proximity to each other, because that way they're all mutually supporting and stuff like that. But each one's every corps, every division has a smattering of cavalry in it. They're all balanced and all like this, and so obviously, whoever is looking after who's actually going, move these Prussian corps here, and obviously it's been done by committee because you're running polls. And the funny thing is that's actually really cool, because in 1813, the biggest advantage and really the only advantage that the French had was a unified command structure. Like democracy is great for a society, but it's shit ass for an army. Armies need tyrants. They need dictators. They need someone at the top going, I'm listening to everything you've got to say, and I make the decision. And that's, to this day, that's how, like, when we go on operations and we decide, okay, what's going to happen in a battle group, the battle group commander is normally an infantry or an armored corps lieutenant colonel. He will say to his operations staff, all right, this is the intelligence we've got. This is what we know about the terrain. This is what we know about our own troops, obviously. This is what we know about the enemy. All right, ops, go away and come up with courses of action. The commanding officer doesn't do that shit. He's like, I've got other, as we say in the military, I've got other poodles to take care of. So, operations staff, you go sort that crap out. And then they come back and then they say to the CEO, these are the things that the courses of action we've come up with. These are the things we've identified as the enemy's likely course of action, most dangerous course of action, because his likely course of action is not necessarily the most dangerous to us. And we come up with all these, and then we present 3 plans, and then the CEO goes, he interrogates the plans, then he goes, we're going to go with that one. Or he might go, we're going to go with that one, but I'm going to take a little bit out of this plan, and I'm going to block. I like what you said over here, so take that, stick that in, and that's the plan we're going to go with. And then the discussion ends. Then it's like, now we get on with it. And so in 1813, that's Napoleon and Bertha, that's the advantage they have. It's like, this is what we're doing. Yeah. All right. Tell Ney, tell Oudinot, tell these guys, that's what we're doing. They do as I say. And where the campaign in 1813, historically, in reality, where it comes unstuck, is because marshals aren't carrying out with the correct amount of vigor, or what they're told to do by Napoleon, or they overstep the mark and go too far. And so that's where he comes unstuck. By contrast, in the early part of the campaign, you've got the Allies, the coalition, it's like an army being run by committee.
Which is happening.
So it's not until they all decide, look, what we're going to do is we're not going to fight Napoleon. Wherever he is, we don't go. And we try to pick off his individual marshals. And that works for them. But it's clear that, like, at this point, I don't think we have anyone who's answering your poll questions, who's actually looking close at the orders of battle and going, that we need to change this. Why did we send 2 corps south without any cavalry support? And it's you could prompt people to do that and like say, hey, or you could do it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Your role is basically as the neutral umpire who's just moving pieces around on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a lot of fun for my brain to what I'm doing. It's record keeping, and it's probably been one of the most humorous parts of this campaign so far. Was when I don't want to give away too much on your stuff, but when you were reorganizing your armies, and I had that clerical error, and I lost like 30,000 guys.
Yeah, I'm sure. Where's that call gone? I'm like, is it falling behind the couch?
Yeah, I completely erased one of the infantry. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was like 2 divisions I wasted on a.
Is it just? Did it just wander off the map? Has it gone back to France? Like where? I know it was there.
I was cutting, pasting, and moving stuff around.
I gave you 100, and I'm supposed to get 250s back in change, and there's a 50, and it's like, where's it gone?
Yeah, Scott had a corps that was sitting there, and I'm like, well, these guys only have. I just reached out to Scott. I'm like, and you've got these guys over here, and they've only got 2 guns and 1 horse. And he's like, where the hell are the other 40,000 guys? And I'm like,
where did they go?
I found them. I'd like moved them to a different page and forgot to put him back. And he's like, Bertha,
found him.
He's like, Bertha, you got 1 job.
It reminds me of where, like, I had when I was a young bombardier, in the artillery, every gun gets allocated X amount of ammunition. And this one fire support base we were at, we'd had 40 rounds of HE delivered when I was out putting the machine gun. I was changing the pickets on the machine gun point. So I was out there. I'd come back to my gun bay. We were dug in. We had all this and all the ammunitions in the gun bay. And then you get every now and then you get over the tannoy system was like a little thing. All guns, ammunition states to troop commanders or ammunition states to command posts. So, count my rounds. I got 40 HE, 22 white phos, 4 base eject smoke, 10 airbursts, and send that off. And then there's young lieutenants come running around. Oh, Bobby Driscoll. I'm missing 40 rounds of HE. It's like, what, you're in the shit, sir? Man, don't know how you're going to explain that. He goes, oh, yeah, you sure your count's right, Bomb? I said, yeah, sir, my count's right. I'd never get my count wrong. Off he goes. 10 minutes later, he comes running around again. He's sweating bullets. You can see he's like, oh, shit, I can't find 40 rounds of HE. It's like, sir, you better find those rounds. When the battery commander finds out, your career is done. Anyway, comes around. And he comes over. This is about 40 minutes into this now, and this guy's going, Bomb, like, can you count your rounds again? It's like, fuck, like, seriously, sir? I can guarantee you, I can count them again. The numbers aren't going to change. They're not going to just magically appear. So I go and I count the rounds, and I'm going, see, so that's it. And then this Lance Bombardier goes, hey, Driss, did you get those rounds that are under the tarp? I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, 20 boxes got delivered while you were away on picket, and they're under the tarp. I'm like, oh. So I go, I pull this tarpaulin back. There's 20 boxes of ammunition, 40 rounds of high explosive. And this lieutenant's looking at me. You can see he's like fucking furious. And I'm like, well, here's your 40 rounds. He goes, have you got anything else to say, Bobbity Driscoll? And I go, they're like fucking rabbits, sir. Turn your back and I'll breathe like rabbits. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, where's my 40,000 soldiers gone? Oh, they fell behind the couch. Get out.
Yeah, I think we're trying to. I mean, my job's really just to, have fun and try to keep track of all the numbers and who's moving around and keep up with the databases and keep the campaign calendar going so we can go back and read it later and kind of like keep this kind of, we're creating a story with this campaign, so just so people can go back and look at it. Sometimes you go back and like look at a war from in the ancient days, it's hard to figure out what exactly happened. I think even up to the War of the Roses, there's still some arguments of what actually happened in this battle. So just trying to keep a record so we can go back and enjoy it and read it later. It'd be kind of it's kind of interesting because we're creating something here as a community. So that's what I'm.
You could put a little book together.
Yeah. At the end, yeah.
A Wargamers Compendium of the War of 1818, the campaign of 1813. What if?
Yeah.
It's not like you won't. You should have plenty of bloody fodder for it.
Yeah,
like lots of photos and
I've got
stuff like that.
I've got all the photos saved in one big 1813 folder, and I've got pictures from every single battle except for, I guess, I've got a couple from your Command and Colors, but really it doesn't look as pretty without the miniatures there. So I'm hoping.
No.
I'm definitely going to have Dom and Wayne and send me pictures from their battles, so I can just keep pictures of all that. So,
yeah.
And at the end of the whole thing, the plan is to have like a slideshow at the end and just go over it and bring people in and talk about it. So that's it. And I know that we go with when you try to get, I don't know how many people are involved in the campaign, but we're averaging most of our polls 60 to 80 views, or comments or thumbs up or something, or votes or whatever. It's hard to encapsulate what everybody wants, but I try to look at comments underneath, and if anybody reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I've looked at this order of battle, and this we need to move something," that's great. And if we need like a decision super fast, we've got our buddy Doug in Canada is kind of like our go-to guy for like, we're midterm and we need like a decision. You can't get out and get everyone's idea, so reach out to Doug and he kind of goes, "Yeah, I think we'll do that." So he's our interested third party, I think we're saying, but he's representing. He's the coalition attorney. Who's the Austin Matt Nick kind of out there trying to?
Yeah, and I often use my a really good mate of mine, it's like a brother, is Arno, he was my former operations officer when I was his RSM at 2nd 10th Regiment, and sometimes I'll give him a call, or I'll put together a little video and I'll fire it off to him and say, "Hey, Arno, this is the situation on this table at the moment. What should these guys do?" And sometimes he'll come back and go, "Is running an option?" Like, no. Well, maybe try this or try that. It's like, okay, we'll do that. We'll give that a crack. And there's always just, I can look at it myself, like I did in my video, where I just went, "Oh, I'll wait." It's a 33. It's a 1/3% chance that they'll do this, and 2/3 chance that they'll do something else. And I'll just roll a die and go, okay, that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
So,
and personally, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
This coming up battle here, it's like I'm just impressed. Like, you're going to have one major battle being divided into 4 sectors of 4 areas of operation, being played by 4 different YouTube channels, and is Dom and is Randy, are they gonna film their battles?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So that's cool. That's good. That produces a lot of content, and it'd be interesting to see how many, because there's not enough collaboration between Wargames channels. I don't think.
There's some.
It'd be
definitely
good.
some.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I know. I know Little Wars and
Mark's Games Room, they've done stuff together.
Mark's Games Room have done stuff together, but they're both in the United States, so that's handy for them because they don't have to worry about.
You got the Plastic Crack podcast guys. They do some stuff together, but I think some of their likes are a little bit different. I think Dom and Martin align pretty good, and some of the other guys.
Yeah.
I know Steve's off in a little bit smaller stuff and different sci-fi and stuff and weird stuff, as Dom would say. But they do collaborate a little bit too, and that's a great thing for the community.
Mm. And that's the other thing. I some channels just don't promote other channels, and I don't know why. I don't get it. I mention I try to mention as many YouTube channels as I possibly can. If I find one, I'll pop something up. I mean, my next recently there's a channel called Case Shot, and the fella there did a review. He played a GDA 2 game using the scenario out of the rule book, and it was interesting because he played the scenario. He said, "I liked it. It was a really enjoyable game," and then he went, "But I don't think I'll play GDA 2 anymore." I was like, "Okay, that's good. That's hey, fine. Like it's not for everyone, but I just thought it was funny." But there's another channel that people might not know about. It's called Case Shot.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it till you told me and sent me that video.
Yeah, so check out Case Shot. If you haven't seen Case Shot yet, go have a look.
There you go.
I think he's got at least 45 videos up, so there's plenty there to look at. And I don't know, maybe you'll just go, "Oh, it's not for me," but there might be something there you might like. So
I definitely haven't figured out the algorithm for YouTube yet because I think Dicey Tactics and then the Krusty Colonel have been playing GDA for a year.
And the funny thing is, like, especially like I really like Randy's Dicey Tactics channel. Terrain's fantastic. Miniatures are beautiful.
His table's bigger than mine.
And the commentary's good, and like you can just listen to it. It's not like this annoying, grating, like fingernails on chalk voice.
Like mine.
Well, mine, I don't know. I have no idea how I sound like.
Oh, you sound great. You're beautiful.
I don't know what my voice sounds like to other people. I know when I listen to myself, I go, I sound like my brother. It makes me want to punch me. But other than that, I just think we would. I think we would do well as a wargaming community if we gave shout outs to the other channels and that bit more. So we ought to do that.
Sounds good.
So
we're trying to. Yeah. We didn't even realize. I think it clicked, went on like a light bulb in Scott's head about. It's like we started thinking about the depth of this and the width of this battle that we're about to do for Berlin, of just coordinating 4 YouTube channels in 4 different countries in 2 hemispheres to play one battle that took place on the same day in a ongoing community campaign. And it's like wait a minute, we should call let's call Guinness and see what we got.
Maybe does the Guinness Book of Records do anything like that? Is there a record? What is the?
Is there a dork version?
Somebody somewhere must think this is a first. This would be good. I don't know if it is. I've got no idea. But it's I tell you what, it's great for GDA 2. It's good. But here's the thing: if Dom said, I use Valor and Fortitude, it's like, fine, play using Valor and Fortitude. And if Randy said, I want to do it using Black Powder, it's like, fine, crack on with that. But it doesn't matter. It's what the results. It's all that matters.
Yeah,
getting the game's done. The fact that I think everyone's using GDA 2, that's great. That's really good. We can see how many different versions of the rules that we can interpret. How badly we can screw it up. Because, and that's another thing, I just got to put it out there. it doesn't matter how well you know the rules. Invariably there are mistakes made. Like Nick Jennings, I think it is. He pointed out in my game. He says in that last combat where your Saxon cavalry charged some Prussian line, there was a Russian unit that provided a dice roll in support for him. It's like, yeah. He said, but then in the movement phase they formed square, and I went, oh, that's right, they couldn't. Now, fortunately, it didn't make any difference. The battle was done. But yeah, it's like, yep, got me. I missed that. And apparently, a few times where I had columns shooting and I rolled a 1, I should have lost fire discipline. But but that, I mean, this is a thing, especially when you're playing solo. Because I keep saying this, people will get tired of hearing it. When you're playing with someone, you have an independent check. You have someone, because they're watching you, you've got someone going, oh, no, you can't do that. Or as a consequence of that, you've now lost fire control or fire discipline. Or, oh, they failed that test. That's an extra casualty they take or something like that when you're playing against someone. But when you're playing by yourself, particularly if you're also filming it, it's like, I'm playing the game, I'm concentrating on that. I want to make sure I get the rules right. I'll feel terrible if I get the rules wrong because I don't want to give people the wrong idea. But at the same time, it's like, but I also want to make it look good. So, like when I play my game, I don't know about you, Steve, but what I do is I go, right, I've got to resolve this shooting thing now, right? I look at the rules. I just go through the check. Yep. Okay, that's it. And then I hit record, and then I do it, and then I hit stop, and then I check, and I go, yeah, I think I got everything. All right, moving on to the next one. And so, what people see is like 15 seconds of footage. What they don't see is there was 5 minutes of preparation to do it. And so what might seem like an hour-long game to someone was actually 3 hours of work.
Yeah, I end up with like 180 to 220 clips per turn.
Yeah,
that I have to slice together, and then sometimes you go back. Sometimes you're playing one, and you're like, oh crap, I messed that up, and I'll go back and shoot another 4 shots, and then go back and edit out what I screwed up and fix it in the middle.
Yeah. I think it's like even though when you're solo gaming, wargaming still is very much it's something that you want to do with other people. So it's like a shared interest kind of thing. The problem for me is a lot of the people I don't like. It's like, yeah, I like wargaming with people, yeah, but some of them really want. I just want to smack them in the face. No, not really. Yeah, it's just like sometimes it's easier sometimes to solo wargame.
And I love the social aspect of it, but just getting gaming time and this will be the same for you because you've got some of your kids. You've got kids older than mine and younger than mine. Of just trying to fit that into your schedule and then coordinate with someone else that's having the exact same scheduling logistics that you're having is difficult.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. It's not when you play a game and you're filming it, you need the person you're playing that with. They need to be prepared to go through the process of filming it with you. Because if they're there, I just want to have a game, and you want to film it, then it's no good for them. And so I think that's why you see so many battle reports are solo, because you're asking a lot of you're not really asking a lot of, you're basically saying, I'm going to film this. If you want to participate in it, you have to understand that there's going to be times when I'm going to have to stop, or I have to set the camera up, and then I have to film it and all this kind of stuff, and because I want to get good shots. Because if it's going on YouTube, it's a visual thing. People are wanting to watch the game. And even then, when you're doing it yourself, you look at it and you go, I'm no film director. That's pretty ordinary. But hey, it is what it is. It's not like I'm getting paid to do this shit.
Yeah,
so you do what you can.
It's fun though. This has been life changing for me, and I wish I would have got into it earlier. But like a lot of you guys that got into this when you were like 8 and 10 and stuff, I mean, I wish I would have. But I think the fact that I didn't get into it till I was like 40, I mean, I think it makes me appreciate it more because I'm really making up for lost time. So that's why I kind of paint like a demon. I kind of game like a demon. I'm really I am. It's a blessing to find this hobby for me, and it's great because I used to paint in my basement, and it's kind of dank and dancy down there. But my family's like, "Hey, we want to engage with you, not you be locked down there." So they kind of cleared off a space for me upstairs, and I kind of paint there, and I can talk with them all and watch TV and while I'm painting and listen to YouTube stuff. So
Yeah,
it's everything really. It's kind of like what I do 90% of the time when it's not family or work.
yeah, it's a fantastic hobby. I love it.
Yeah, and then
But, I mean, I'm into it.
building something like this campaign has just been. We kind of dabbled in it on the first one, and I'm really super thrilled you got involved because it brought a whole lot of life to it. But this is the accumulation of all of that I wanted to do is really kind of happening, and this is amazing. So, and I hope people can watch this, for years to come. Hopefully YouTube doesn't get bought out or something like that. But it's
Yeah,
it's great. I think it started with the pandemic where we did a lot more networking and reaching out, and it's just kind of that's where it probably started, at least for me. And it's just kind of
mm,
that's it.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, it's a great hobby. There's no doubt about that. It's like, yeah, it's just a really good hobby. It doesn't hurt anyone.
yeah,
It's productive. I mean, for me, it's also been. Truth be told, I've had people come in my place and they go, "Holy cow, how many soldiers do you have?" I go, "It's thousands, I don't know." They go, "How much that cost you?" And I go,
yeah,
"Probably nothing. Probably nothing." And they go, "What?" I said, "Well, because what I used to do is I'd buy 4 boxes of miniatures and paint them all, and then I would sell them all, and then what I sold them for, I would get 16 boxes of miniatures." That was a time when I could paint. I would paint like you do. Like I would paint. I just blow through them. Now, if I can get 40 miniatures painted in a month, I'll go, "Geez, I've done all right." But that's because I've got like, especially in winter when this hockey season's on, it's like 4 nights a week. I'm bloody um, either taking my son to training, and then I end up training him because he's a goalkeeper, and most of the coaches aren't keepers, and I was, and it's like it's like, "What are you doing?" And they go, "So, hey, Scott, can you train Mike?" And Mike will be going, "Please, for God's sakes, come and train me." So here I am, 60 years old. My back's all smashed up. My knees are all gone. My right ankle's busted up, and I'm training a field hockey goalkeeper. Then by the time I get home, I'm like,
you hit
make the Batman stuff.
you hit two
Like
kangaroos on the way home.
yeah, it's smashed like there's like on the way to training, it's like, "Don't hit a kangaroo." On the way home from training, it's like, "Bang, get out of the road, Skippy." Bang, get out of the road, Skippy. I don't care. I just want to get home and get a hot shower. "Hey, Dad, there's a reel on the side of." "Oh, don't mind." Bang.
And there's
There's
our
more kangaroos now. There's more kangaroos. Fun fact for those of you out there who think I'm being cruel. There are more kangaroos today than there was ever been on this continent ever. When the white man arrived in 1788, the kangaroos just cracked bottles of champagne and went, "The happy times have arrived because these idiots are going to clear the land to graze sheep, and come summer, or the sheep will die and we will benefit from the sheep flock." So, like, the freaking kangaroos, like people say, "Well, do you get kangaroos in the streets?" Like, no, but on the edge of every major city, they're freaking everywhere. So, yes, there's no shortage of kangaroos. So when I hit 2, it's more damage to my car than it is to the population of kangaroos. Besides, they're the slow ones.
yeah.
It's Darwin's. It's Darwinian. I'm thinning out the slow ones. It's all good.
So I
My
guess
car's not
good.
appreciating it. I got
Yeah.
dings all over it now.
So I guess going forward, you got just to make any comments you want, especially if you've looked through the order of battle or like that, or any tactics and stuff that probably can affect Scott and I. And I am curious. I enjoyed the 4 turns idea that Scott came up with. I thought it was great reaching out to the community between 4 turn sections. I think even David Brown even reached out to Scott and was like, yeah, that's a good time frame for a battle report. And then I think on the very first game, I think mine was like 4.5 hours, something like that, which might have been long, but I do enjoy a long form battle report. But it's nice, one, to give an idea for tactical advice from you guys. 2, it's nice to also get some rules checks, because you're not 8 turns later or 12 turns later or the next game trying to figure it out. I think a lot of our mistakes that were pointed out to us, I was able to correct mine. I think Scott even corrected his, and Scott's done that for a long time, of correcting his, as he's been going, from people saying things. So we kind of took an accumulation of what we've done in the past, especially what Scott has done. So, and then Scott and I will probably continue that format for this battle. Dom, I don't know if he's playing solo, if he's going to play at the club, and I don't try to impose on the way we're going to do things to what other people are going to do, because they have their own time constraints. I think Wayne and the only thing that really kind of slows down Wayne and Josh is Wayne's internet speed. So I think he might have to limit how big his sections are, just by he doesn't want to upload for 6 months trying to get his
because he's in New Zealand.
Yeah,
he's in New Zealand, and those damn orcs. The Uruguay, I keep on hacking to, like, the hobbits are laying the line, and then the orcs, and they hack the thing. So New Zealand,
and we're just
hobbits and orcs.
We're just thrilled that these 2 other YouTube channels are part of our little our madness here, and not saying the rest of you aren't, but they're actually directly playing games, and we want to encourage more people to do that too. And so we're going to probably follow the same format as before, but they might differ. So it's not going to be universal across. And just like Scott said, they could, even if you could, use different rule systems too. So it's not like, if you don't come with GDA, we're not GDA snobs. We just prefer it.
Yeah.
Any kind of
that's our go-to system, but it's not necessarily everybody else's. So whatever works for them. But the thing is, they're going to be fighting like separate. Like, you're going to have Dom's battles, like a core level battle, I think, on one flank, and then Dom's going to be fighting a divisional size action, I think, or is it the other way around?
It's either way. Roundy and Wayne are going to do or Wayne and Josh are going to do a divisional battle. And I'm not sure if Dom's going to do divisional or core. Depends if he solos it or does it at Farnborough, his gaming club.
Yeah, so they'll be fighting their battles on the wings, but the main action will be in the center. So you've got to narrate it a little bit, and because really at the end of the game, the campaign's about just creating a narrative excuse to put miniatures on the table so that the battles have some rationale about why they're happening. And to avoid situations where, like someone said on my YouTube channel, they went, well, it wasn't on YouTube, it was on, I posted up on Facebook the results of my battle, and someone came up and said, this is the problem, but I think what he meant was, this is the advantage of campaign games. You don't have those... both sides are perfectly matched. You're going to have situations where one side's outnumbered badly, and it could be a foregone conclusion they could lose, but then you might have these, wow, that was a surprise, they actually managed to win. Or you have a battle. So it's not about winning, it's about losing, it's about inflicting as much hurt on the enemies you possibly can in the process of being defeated.
Yeah.
So even if you're going to lose, it's like, I'm going to lose this battle, but I'm going to hurt him so much that in the next battle, I'm going to have the advantage.
Yeah, and you can see that you can literally see that on the Google sheet, the spreadsheet that I try to share in a lot of my posts and stuff. And that's a live document that I'm updating that anybody can use that link to view. I can't have people editing it with me because that would make my life a nightmare.
Oh,
But
no, no. The editing. No, that's got to be close hold. It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
But it's great that people can see
Otherwise,
it.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have one bookkeeper.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
you can literally see the, you know, I've already after the Blankensfelde and Grossbeeren, I've already edited those, and you can see in green the guys that were taken prisoners that they're probably marching towards Spain tomorrow, and then you can see the guys that got away. You can see the losses that Ney, Oudinot, and Bertrand suffered, and it's especially many thanks to Scott's. If you can go back and look through Scott's channel about his casualty counter, because that was the foundation for all these orders of battle. Yes, it is generic, but it has to be because I cannot do exact. It would be a nightmare. But it's Little Wars TV put a fantastic document together with all the divisions and some strengths and stuff like that of each unit, and then I just basically poured those. I made a ratio saying, here's Scott's casualty counter. These infantry are going to have 600, and you know, those 480 for cavalry regiments and 8 guns for a battery.
We just lifted it straight out of the GDA rulebook.
So it made it easy to take their document, use Scott's formula, and then put it into a Google sheet. And the numbers weren't too far off from the actual number of troops that were involved.
No, it
was close.
Yeah, it's close enough.
The quality's off.
It's close.
But once we get to a battle, as Scott's always said in several videos, it's like once we get there, we can add in the sauces and the flavoring to bring in for what's the name of that book you use for the French? It's awesome.
I've got. Wait on.
I'm so sorry. Well, Scott has this. I mean, a lot of you probably have the same books. I don't have the greatest Napoleonic library. I probably don't even have one at all. But once we get into a battle and we know what corps are involved, Scott can look at what his library and go, hey, this division was here and they had this. They were made of these amount of troops, and then we can do some research in the background and go, well, the Swedes were here, the Russians were here, and the Prussians were here, and they were all under this corps, and you can figure out the actual breakdown of more specifics of what's in each division, and try to add a little bit of flavor to it. And I am kind of excited that I'm filling in now before Scott returns. There he is. This cavalry in this one, thankfully for the coalition, so there should be a little bit of a check versus a check and balance on this one, because it's not. I think there's like 45,000 versus 70,000 infantry or something like that, or 60,000 infantry, and then the cavalry's off by a couple thousand, and the guns are off by a little bit. But it's not. At least they have combined arms this time, the coalition, and they pick the terrain. We are going to allow each table, and we're not going to look at Iron Fist for Dom and for Wayne and Josh, but the coalition will have at least a redoubt on each table. Just a little bit of preparation, because they kind of came out. I think they were a bit surprised because of Scott's ruse of Napoleon being near Leipzig, and then he threw out those fake messages from Ney. And from some of the emails and comments I got on things, looks like some people did believe it, so that ruse did work. So we're kind of trying to take in some of that and working it into it. So Bernadotte kind of came out, picked some terrain, and then he's like, "Oh my gosh, here's 50. Here's a force twice as big as mine." He sees Napoleon's banner. He sees the Imperial Guard. He's like, "Wow, I can't run. I'm just going to try to make the best of a situation out here." And then he's also got messengers arrive from Tautsy into the south saying, "Hey, send me cavalry." And then he shoots that guy in the firing squad. So we have the whole campaign narrative. And now I'll turn you back over to Scott. I've talked enough.
Yeah, I must have that book. It's probably in my bedroom. It is now. I remember. I know where it is now. As soon as I get back and sit down, I go, I can't find it, and I go, no, I know where it is. It's sitting on my bedside table. But it's the Grande Armée of 1813. I think it's by Richard Bogley Scott. But anyway, it's in that previous video I did, I think I showed. I might have had it.
Yeah, you had it. That's what I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, but anyway, it's got the order of battle.
It was Scott something. Was the author Scott Bow or something, or was that right?
Yeah, Richard Bowley Scott. So it has the orders of battle for the Grand Army at the start of the 1813, actually right at the end of 1812. Then they rebuild early 1813, and the orders of battle at the start of the 1813 campaign, and at the end of the first half when the armistice starts.
Sorry, my grandson's staying tonight. Sorry.
No. Then the armistice at the the army's order of battle at the end of the armistice, and then it shows the order of battle at the end of the campaign. So it's just a whole. So this guy, obviously some people like just poring over old manuscripts and shit, and then putting them into a book and going, thank God they do, because. So when you send me the order of battle, what I do is I go, okay, you've got guard, regiment, guard, regiment, guard, regiment, guard, regiment. What I do is I go, all right, that's the 1st Battalion, 1st Grenadiers. Then that's the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Grenadiers, and blah, blah, blah. And then I go, Saxon Guard Grenadiers, Württemberg Guard Grenadiers, the Polish Grenadier Guards that were raised specifically because the Poles raised a regiment of Grenadiers of the Guard that was part of the Imperial Guard. And then I also put in Velites of the Royal Guard, which is the Italian version of the French Old Guard. So it's like Velites of the Guard, Velite Chasseurs, the Royal Guard Grenadiers, the Royal Guard Chasseurs. So what people will see if they look at the Orbat on where you've got it posted, they'll just see Imperial Guard. On mine that you send me, I then edit my version, and then I put in like Marines of the Guard or Sailors of the Guard, because they weren't actually the Marines de la Garde Imperiale were not Marines; they were actually sailors. So I've got Sailors of the Guard. So my order of battle, that's got all the details of which actual battalions they are. And that's based off this book that I've got. So I can look at it and go, that corps had that, and then I can actually put in the. But the point is, I can do that, or I could just choose to go, it's just big guards or just generic and just go that way as well.
I love the flavor. It's nice to be able to add it on, because it really doesn't really matter if I have it all correct on my sheet, because it's the pretty part is when it hits the table. And that's when you want to see the nice orders of battle and the nice uniforms and the nice everything, and add a little bit more pizzazz to the tabletop. And I think that's neat. And that's one of the great parts about. I'm very thankful that Dom got involved in this, because he literally, I don't know anybody
he's got Swedes.
who has Swedes troops, and he does. He's got a division at least, so it's nice that we can actually have Swedish honors. Go back over there. Hey, my grandson's running over to tickle me. And it's nice to actually have some right. And I don't know how many Italian viewers we have for this campaign, but I do want to give a shout out to the Italians and the Swiss have been really doing pretty darn good for both these first two battles. The major engagement. They've really represented.
Yeah, my Swiss brigade got shot to shreds, but they did sterling work.
They passed
awesome.
They passed all their discipline checks, though. They did. They
did awesome. And then they were at the end of the game. There was a Swiss brigade. It was like all huddled back near this tree line, all shot to shreds. And then you got these two Italian brigades marching past them. Not a scratch, On they come. We're here to save the day. It's like the battle's won, you idiots.
Yeah.
It's like all these.
They're beautiful. Their beautiful white uniforms look great.
Yeah. I'm looking at them now, actually. They're sitting on my table right now. I still haven't packed them away. I've packed all the Prussians and Russians away, but the Italians are all just... The Italians and Swedes are still sitting on my table, very smug, very happy with themselves.
I think we're getting... We just went over the hour mark.
I was going to say, my battery's at 10%.
Yeah.
So,
So it'll be
What,
perfect
9
timing.
now?
'Cause my grandson's he's awake and he slept really good last night, so he's going to turn this into a nightmare. But that's what they're supposed to do, so it's great. But we want to
Yeah,
really
yeah.
thank all of you. I want to thank Scott every time we do something like this, and we talk every day about sometimes more than once a day, just trying to get things right and make it fun, and it's very stimulating for conversation and stuff. So anybody wants to go back and write anything, and just like that's the beauty of YouTube. Yeah, the battle report's 4 hours long. Watch it for 15 minutes. Pause it, walk away, go to do your life, come back. It'll still be on the exact plate you left. Hit
Yeah.
play. If you want to comment on this, we could be, in November in the campaign a couple months from now, or whatever, a couple weeks from now, and then you're commenting something back on August. We'll still read it. It's dynamic, and we'll try to incorporate it. But the big thing is just thanks for everyone that takes part. Thanks for everybody enjoying it. I'm kind of keeping track of views. This is generating between all the battles and stuff, and then all the votes we're getting. I just want to have a bunch of stats. I love stats. I'm a baseball dork, so I want to have all that at the end. And plus, we're saving pictures from every battle, all separated out. So it'll be a hell of a thing at the end to wrap it all up. You got any clothing stuff to say, buddy?
No, I'm already overstimulated.
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
You know, my wife's at staff college at the moment, so I'm talking with you about the campaign of 1813 and the Crumper system and all sorts of bloody crazy stuff, and then I'll be talking to you, and then suddenly I'll get a text message from my wife going, "What are the root causes of the American Civil War? We're discussing it at the moment." It's like, oh, geez, I've got to get. So yeah, it's all just I'm just getting bombarded at the moment. I'm just ODing on military history and military topics and stuff at the moment. I'm in my element.
Yeah.
So
it's good
it's all
stuff.
just going on. Yeah. And I did have a comment from one chap who did say, I can't watch 2 or 3 hours of videos. Is there any chance you could cut them down to like 20 minutes? And it's like, no. It's like just can't. But the best thing to do is just if you want a campaign summary, which I guess we'll really at some point we should do a video where we talk about like how did we where probably maybe the end of the campaign in real time started. What date was the start date? Was it?
Oh, keep going.
1st of August.
August something, 20 something is when the treaty expired. I got it right here. Hang off of it a minute.
Yeah, August 17 was ringing a bell.
You're probably right. 16th. That's when
16th.
the Treaty of Clausewitz, the Armistice of Clausewitz, expired on the 16th.
Okay, so on the campaign calendar, when we hit September 16, we should probably put together a little video where we go, this is where we're at and this is how we got here.
Oh, yeah. It's a great idea. I love it.
And we do that each month because the campaign's got to end around about October, November, when the winter starts. Because when did it end historically? When did Leipzig happen?
I can't remember.
October's ringing a bell for some reason.
Yeah, I think that's
then you'd have to.
There'll probably be a Titanic battle down south somewhere that'll decide a lot of things. And we're going to get together after these are, and of course Scott's mentioned it before, this Grossbeeren, Blankensfelde, and Berlin, they're all happening simultaneously.
It's all happening at the same time.
It might feel like it literally has been probably a month of our time, but this is really not even 12 hours of campaign time. So there's going to be a lot decided. Right. And we'll see what happens at the end of this. There might not be, some of the parts of the coalition might not be there. Heck, Napoleon could get captured if our dice go completely horrible.
If I get into Berlin, baby, I'm burning it. I'm burning that place to the ground. I'm going to exhume. We're going to get Frederick the Great's body and take it to Paris. He's what's that you say, Frederick? You miss your sword and your hat? Well, all right, boys, get in here, into his sarcophagus. We're taking him to Paris. What will we do with Berlin? Burn it.
Oh, wow.
Burn it to the ground.
That's what he said he did. That was his big regret at Waterloo, right, or something?
In the movie, if I made one mistake, I should have burnt Berlin. Well, we're not making that mistake.
We're rectifying in this one. That's Scott's
We're
goal.
going to rectify that cycle if we get into Berlin.
Napoleon's in the back making T-shirts that say "Burn Berlin" and giving them to the boys.
Yeah, you thought Moscow was bad. That was nothing, baby.
Well, on that happy note, we'll.
Yeah, on that happy note.
All right, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you for everybody. Here comes my grandson, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Will you pause?
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Oh gosh, I can't stop it. F9.
That's French.